My dad missed my wedding to go clubbing with my teenage brother. His face when he saw who walked me down the aisle was priceless. Dad left when I was 9 and my brother Austin was 3. Said motherhood turned mom boring and he needed freedom. When he came back into our lives 6 years later, he didn't want his kids. He wanted a party buddy, and Austin, wild and reckless at 13, fit the bill perfectly. I was the responsible one who reminded him he had a mortgage and responsibilities. Austin was the one who made him feel young again. The dynamic was sick. Dad would pick Austin up from middle school to hit up happy hours where bartenders didn't card too hard. He'd buy him designer sneakers and take him to clubs with fake IDs while I studied for the SATs alone. When I confronted him about bringing a 14-year-old to bars, he laughed. Your brother knows how to live. You should try it sometime instead of being such a killjoy. Austin worshipped him for it, called him by his first name. Derek bragged to his friends about his cool dad who treated him like an adult. I watched my baby brother develop a drinking problem at 15 while dad cheered him on. When I was 26, I met Kieran at a hospital volunteer program. He was a pediatric nurse who noticed I was crying in the supply closet after a kid reminded me of Austin. Now 20 and already in rehab for the second time, Kieran didn't judge. He just sat with me, and that kindness felt revolutionary. His dad, Robert, was everything mine wasn't. Present. Sober, asked about my day and actually listened to the answer. When I introduced them 8 months later, dad showed up an hour late, reeking of whiskey, with Austin stumbling behind him. This is lame, Austin slurred at my birthday dinner where I'd introduced Kieran. Derek, let's bounce. There's a rave in Brooklyn. Dad stood up immediately. Your sister's got her nurse boyfriend. She doesn't need us killing her vibe. They left before appetizers arrived. Kieran's dad watched them go, then quietly moved to sit beside me. His loss, Robert said, squeezing my hand. But our gain, if you'll have us. Kieran proposed at his parents' house during Sunday dinner, the kind of family tradition I'd only seen in movies. Robert cried. His mom, Diane, made her famous apple pie. My dad's response via text was brief. Cool, Austin and I are in Ibiza. Send pics. The wedding planning was torture. Every vendor asked about father-daughter dances and dad's speech. I'd say he wasn't involved and watched their faces shift to pity. 2 weeks before the wedding, I called him. Dad, please, just this one day, be my father, not Austin's drinking buddy. He sighed like I was asking him to donate a kidney. I'll try, sweetie, but Austin's got this sick pool party that day. DJ Khaled might show up. You understand? I didn't understand. I stopped understanding when I was 9 years old and he chose freedom over bedtime stories. The morning of my wedding, I called one more time. Straight to voicemail. I tried Austin. He answered on the 5th ring, music blasting. What's up? He yelled over bass drops. Where's dad? He's supposed to be at the venue in an hour. Austin laughed. That cruel drunk laugh I'd learned to hate. Derek's getting bottle service, sis. This club is insane. He said your wedding's at like 6 anyway. We've got time. It was noon. The ceremony started at 3. Austin, please, I need him to walk me down the aisle. I've needed him my whole life. The music got louder. Stop being so needy. God, you sound just like Mom. Derek's finally happy. Why do you always have to ruin it? He hung up. I sat in my wedding dress shaking, 20 years of abandonment crushing my chest. Then Diane knocked softly. Sweetheart, can I come in? She found me sobbing, makeup ruined, hyperventilating into my bouquet. Diane held me while I fell apart, whispering the things a mother should say. Then Robert appeared in the doorway, wearing his best suit, eyes wet. I know I'm not your father, he said quietly, but I'd be honored to walk you down that aisle if you'll have me. You've been my daughter in every way that matters since the day Kieran brought you home. I collapsed into his arms, and for the first time in my life, a father figure caught me. The ceremony was perfect. Robert walked me down the aisle with his hand trembling on my arm, crying openly. Kieran's vows made everyone weep. Our first dance was magic. Then at the reception entrance, 2 hours late, Dad stumbled in with Austin, both reeking of tequila and wearing club stamps on their wrists. Dad's eyes found me, then swept the room looking for his moment. His face went pale when the DJ announced the father-daughter dance and Robert stood up, extending his hand to me. Dad watched Robert spin me around the dance floor, watched everyone clap, watched me mouth, "Thank you, Papa," to a man who wasn't him. Austin tried to pull him toward the bar, but Dad just stood frozen, finally seeing everything he'd missed while chasing his lost youth. After the dance, he approached, mascara from some club still on his collar. Baby, I can explain. Traffic was crazy and I turned to Robert, who was getting me champagne, and said loud enough for Dad to hear, "Thank you for being here, Dad, for always being here." Robert understood immediately, pulled me into a hug. My father's face crumbled.